How's it going, guys? So, game week 2 of the Premier League is just after finishing up, and what an amazing week it was. 17 of the 20 teams involved found themselves on the score sheet, and in the 95th minute of the final game, Gabriel Jesus scored to set a record of 44 goals in a single game week. Insane stuff. On top of that, we still haven't had a draw in the league, which is pretty crazy considering some games such as Villa versus Sheffield seem to have draw written all over them. With 10 winners, 10 losers and 44 goals scored, there was always going to be some interesting results here. So let's get started with who's flying high. Again guys, we had 10 winners this week with 5 teams sitting level at the top of the table on 6 points, so there were quite a few options here. But in the end, I've settled for Crystal Palace. Palace kicked off their season by hosting Southampton and then followed that up with a trip to Old Trafford to face Man United this week. I feel if you offered Palace fans 3, maybe even 2 points from these games, they would have taken them. And instead, look where they are. While the Southampton game was a bit of a non-event, their match against the Red Devils was anything but. They really took the game to their opponent, and if anything, I felt like they were wasting so many chances that it was inevitable that they were going to let United back into the game. But no, instead they managed to hold on to the 3 points and come away from Manchester sitting in fine company at the top of the Premier League table. Plus, VAR reducing Man United fans to tears? Priceless. Do I think it was a penalty? No, but I'm not a ref. So if it takes a strange altering of the handball rule to see Man United sitting in 15th position of the table, even for just a week, I'll take it. Next up, we have who dropped the ball. Again, there are some strong candidates here. A certain London team in blue comes to mind, but instead I've actually gone for West Ham. This is similar to why I picked West Brom last week. Yes, they lost away to Arsenal, who you would imagine would finish comfortably higher than the Hammers come the end of the season, but on this occasion, in this game, all 3 points were theirs for the taking, and they bottled it. They put in the performance, they had the chances, and yet somehow, come the end of the game, they let the Gunners take the spoils. West Ham are playing Wolves next, followed by Leicester, Spurs, Manchester City, and Liverpool. So I think it was crucial for them to get points on the board early to stop themselves from facing a total uphill battle come November. And unfortunately, they haven't pulled it off. Now for our shock of the week. In terms of results, the only big shock was Palace cruising to victory against Manchester United. But I've already talked about that, so instead I'm going to take a somewhat different approach. With no Branislav Ivanovic in the squad, West Brom's most experienced player was Kieran Gibbs. And I'm not only talking about his Premier League appearances, of which he has close to 200, I'm also referencing all the times he's appeared in the Champions League, as well as his few caps for England. For a player this experienced, what he did against Everton was baffling. Okay, so James Rodriguez was trying to close the ball down and he bumped into him a little. The contact was so minimal that 90% of players wouldn't even register it. The other 9.99999% are the type that would maybe remember it and make sure to tackle you a little harder next time as revenge. And then there's Kieran Gibbs, who responded by punching him in the face. Again, this coming from a player who probably has more Premier League experience than every other member of that West Brom starting 11 combined. The funny thing is, I don't even know where this level of aggression came from. The last time I saw him get sent off, it was for a handball that he didn't even commit. The most frustrating thing for West Brom fans is, it's not like it was the 80th minute and they were already 4-0 down when he let the emotions of the game get the better of him. Instead, they'd only just gone a goal down and were well in this game. Instead, they had to play the second half 10 men versus 11, and we all know how that went. Next up, we have the week's shining star. Last week, some terrific performances missed out on this spot because I stated that a Premier League hat-trick is always worthy of recognition. This week, that's not even good enough. I would though like to give a big honourable mention to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. What I loved most about his performance was that, apart from the 3 goals, there's not much to talk about. He made sure that he was in the right place at the right time to stick the ball in the back of the net, and really, he set the bar for what being a great striker is all about. But I do think that Everton would have found a way to win this game even without Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The same can't be said for Tottenham Hotspur and star of the week, Heung-min Son. Spurs were awful in that first half, and Son's goals either side of half-time put them in a winning position that they really didn't deserve. After that though, there didn't seem to be any stopping them, and his masterclass in finishing, along with a tiny bit of help from Harry Kane, saw them run out eventual 5-2 winners. Once again, our final talking point is going to be Chelsea. I mean, where to even begin? This is not how the start of the season was meant to go. We were meant to brush aside Brighton and then claim a statement victory against Liverpool. Instead, we stole 3 points from the Seagulls that we really didn't deserve, and then we went into that Liverpool game seemingly with our heads screwed on backwards. Literally nothing went right in this game. The stupid sending off, conceding a headed goal to a 5'8" winger, Kepa trying to pass out of the back line with his eyes closed, Jorginho missing his first ever penalty for the club. It just seems like we were destined to lose this game, but good God, did we have to make it so easy for them. Honestly, the highest rating I could even consider giving out to one of our players would be a 5 out of 10 to Kante or Werner for at least trying. But even still, a player of this calibre, 5 out of 10 just isn't good enough. Luckily, we've got West Brom coming up next, and that should give us a chance to steady the ship. Still though, this one's going to hurt for a while. With all that being said, I do still have my new Chelsea away jersey. I think it's the best of the three, and I am looking to get one of the new boys on the back of it. So comment below who you think your pick would be for who I should get on the back, and I'll probably go with whoever gets the most votes. But that's it for this video, guys. Hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one.